The Pawn Stars might be legends in the TV world, but they are business first and foremost. So that means when there are moments when they need to take advantage of a situation to make the most profit, then they will. Items people bring to the pawn shop varies depending on items' condition, authenticity, and rarity, and more usual than not, people sometimes have no idea the real value of an item. Now, History Channel's reality television show Pawn Stars have been running for nearly a decade and it was the network's biggest success by far. The show was produced by Left Field Pictures and is filmed in Las Vegas, Nevada, where it highlights the daily activities at the world-famous Gold and Silver Pawn Shop. Gold and Silver Pawn Shop is a 24-hour family business opened in 1989 and originally operated by Richard Old Man Harrison and is run by him, his son Rick Harrison, Rick's son Corey Big Hoss Harrison, and Corey's childhood friend Austin Chumley Russell. After all these seasons, we the viewers have probably seen our fair share of trials and tribulations on Pawn Stars, but the thing that Pawn Stars use to their advantage is most customers bringing their stuff to the shop when they're in need of some fast cash. So in today's video, we're going to discuss some of the worst Pawn Star scams. But before we get into it, make sure to leave a like on the video as it helps the channel out tremendously, and subscribe for the future content just like this. Now let's back up to season 7. Corey was out to prove to Rick and the old man that he should have some ownership stake in the pawn shop. He saw a nice opportunity in a customer who came in the pawn shop who was selling a 50th century samurai sword. The customer got the sword as a collateral from a client that didn't come back to get it. So he decided to sell it, but not having a clue how much the sword was worth. During a bank room confessional before negotiating with the seller took place, Corey said that he saw a few of those swords go for thousands of dollars, which makes his initial offer of $800 really low. But after some negotiations, the two shook hands at $1,500, which is really a steal. The customer unfortunately didn't realize he just got scammed. Instead, he just wanted to dance because he was happy that he sold the item. Now later on, they brought in an expert and he estimated the sword's value to be around $5,000 to $6,000 in its current condition. But however, potentially he could go all the way up to $15,000 if Corey decided to take a $3,000 restoration, which ultimately counted as a score. So in certain situations, everybody can try to scam everybody. In one episode, a woman shows up to Gold and Silver Pawn Shop with a collection of valuable gold coins and got herself a solid deal as she sold them for about $12,000. But that's not all. It later turned out that the coins wasn't hers to begin with. Story developed that she stole the coins from her uncles. Now, not only did the men get robbed, but they had no way to get the coins back since Rick and the crew decided to melt the coins down to make a higher profit from actually selling the gold than what they initially spent on the coins. But there's another twist in the story as well, since it turned out that the gold coin collection was really worth about $50,000 as it contained rare coins like silver Morgan coins from the 80s and 1-ounce American Buffalo gold pieces. But another twist is that not only did the uncle get robbed, but his niece got scammed by the Pawn Stars and only got a quarter of his worth before getting caught and serving a sentence for death. In the episode, Put Up Your Dukes, which is a season 4 episode, a man named Bob entered the pawn shop in hopes of selling a 450-year-old book that was supposedly once owned by Sir Isaac Newton, who was known for messing around in the occult matters. The book covered matters of alchemy and believed to be one of the last remaining books in Sir Isaac Newton's library. The old man immediately recognized the possible value of the book, but he had to keep it on the safe side. He brought in a rare book expert named Gary, and Gary eventually discovered handwritten notes formalizing margins in the book. Gary definitely confirmed that the book was authentic and that it actually did belong to Sir Isaac Newton, so he estimated the book around $20,000. But despite its high value, the old man offered a lowball offer of $5,000, but Bob eventually managed to bump that up to $7,000. Now, even though Bob was scammed at the end of the day, he got $2,000 more than he originally was going to get. That's all we have for today's channel. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel for future content just like this.